Okay, so I'm going to show you how to do a few things on your iPad in order to navigate band and honestly any of your students' courses while they're here at Tucker Creek. The first thing that I want you to know is I'm working currently in Safari. I'm going to show you a few things with Chrome in a few minutes. Some things work better on Safari. Some things work better on Chrome. Unfortunately, there's not really a quick fix for either of the two browser windows. I find that graphics load better in Safari, but actually working with documents sometimes is better in Chrome. It really just depends on the student's device. So if one's not working, I suggest going to the other browser. The very first thing your student needs to do, and if you as a parent can go behind them and make sure they've done that, is click right here where it says account. Now mine's going to look a little different. This is not accessible in student view, but everybody has notifications. And what you're going to see is the option to move and adjust how your student gets notifications. So the check mark means you're going to get notified right away. That's an email. The clock icon means that you're going to get a daily summary. The calendar icon tells you that you're going to get a weekly summary, and the X means you're not going to get a notification at all. Students need to make sure that announcements are given right away. That way, if teachers send an announcement to their classroom, that they get it immediately and it goes straight to their email. The other piece of this is that students need to make sure that they're consistently checking their email 3 to 4 times a day in between classes. That's how they can get quick information about what's going on while we are virtual. The other thing that you can choose is how they're going to get grading announcements, due dates. If your student is somebody that needs constant reminders, it may be that they need more emails. If that's overwhelming to them, then you can accommodate that by choosing different notifications. But like I said, make sure that announcements is checked so that they get those right away. So we're going to go to our dashboard, and I'm going to go into our 6th grade band class, and I'm going to flip this over here into student view. So this is what your students are looking at when they log into class. Most of the classes at Tucker Creek are set up the same way. You have a home page or a landing page that has some sort of icons or graphics. Now on mine, I do have both the icons and the written links, because in the app, the icons don't show up for whatever reason. We're still trying to troubleshoot that, but the words do, and both are linked. So when your student comes in here for the first time each week, they have received an announcement with the playlist, but they can also just click on the weekly playlist. Every teacher has their playlist posted. For some teachers, it's built into Canvas. For some, we build it in Google Docs as a separate file so that when we update it, it automatically updates in Canvas. Each day after class, I go in and add the recording for that day's class. So if your student is at a doctor's appointment or something happens and they miss class, you can go in and watch that recording. Attendance is expected in Canvas. Unlike the spring, we are taking attendance and grades count. So watching the videos when you miss class is super important. We are teaching new skills and new concepts, and students need to be aware of what's being taught. Anything that's blue on this playlist, and mine in particular, are a link to an assignment. So in this case, it gives the students directions on how to make a folder in their Google Drive. And then when they click this link, maybe, there it goes. Well, I'm the owner, so it's not going to let me do anything. It will force them to make a copy of the file. And once they've clicked on that, it will open and they can save it into their Google Drive. That file we're working on throughout this week, so it's one that they're going to want to make sure they have accessible. We can talk about folders in just a second. But you notice that each day we have virtual class time. That's what we're doing together, and independent work. And that's what the students should be doing at home on their own. Last night, I had a lot of emails about the learning to read music slides. Students thought they had to do 13 slides. 1, that will never happen from me. And 2, that tells me that they're not looking at their playlist. This is literally the lesson plan for the week and where students need to go first. So you see Tuesday's assignments, there was a video. The videos that are linked here in this presentation are linked to YouTube. So when they open the playlist, it will go to YouTube. They can also access any of these assignments by going over here to modules. Now, modules is where we basically put each week's work. So you're going to see that week 1's is down at the bottom. If students owe some sort of assignment from last week, if they're missing it, that's where you would need to go. All the assignments for this week are organized in week 2. Now, these are listed as complete all items. What that means is students have to do specific tasks in order to get the green check marks that show on these where these circles are. Now, the playlist is housed here as well, so students can access it, and all the links are active in the module. And then they can find their assignments. So this first assignment teaches them how to download the file. So it pops up. They have to be logged in, and you have to be logged into their school account. If any other email, of course, if any other email is open on their device, then they are not going to be able to open the files. There it goes. So when it opens, you see that it says to make a copy. So they're going to click make a copy, and this is going to force it to copy my master. So all files that I create are sent as make a copy. They are taught, or I have asked them to rename the file. So they'll rename it. And then I'll hit enter because now it's saved. Over here, where the arrow is, they're going to move it into their 2020 band folder. Now, they all are supposed to have named a folder 2020 band 2021. So they'll click on that folder. And then over here on the right, it says move. And now this file is in that folder. So if a student goes to their Google Drive to find this tomorrow for class time, that folder is there. And the file is there. The other things I showed students about Google Drive in and of itself is to change the colors. You click on these 3 dots and you click change color. When you're looking at folders, having the colors for the things that you use the most is very helpful. All right, we're going to go out of this and back into Safari where our assignments are. You notice that opened in a new window. I'm going to go back to Canvas, and here's the assignment again. Now, I'm going to click next. This was a video that we watched today about the treble clef. You notice that there's not any sort of assignment attached to it. Anytime there's something that there's not an assignment attached to, there's going to be an option to mark as done. Well, maybe it'll click and stay. There it goes. Once you've marked as done and a student goes back over here to modules, you're going to see that green check mark. That says that they've viewed the assignment, they've watched the video, they've done what they're supposed to. I use that for things that are not graded, just to hold students accountable for doing the work, and to know that they've done the assignment and help them keep up with it. So down here, this is a graded assignment, but it tells you that it's going to be marked as done because I have to go in and check it. They're going to go to their Boom deck and practice their treble clef note names. Now, the classroom for Boom is accessible by going home. And you see where the Boom learning link is. They just need to click on that. When they get to this page, they find their name and they put in their password, and it takes them to the practice decks that we're using. Now I go in at the end of the week, and there were 2 assignments, I'm sorry, that I assigned this week for this class, and they get 20 points per assignment, and it's just a practice. All they have to do is show that they're making progress. So I'm going to close that and close that. Now, back in the modules, you can see any of the rest of the assignments for the week. They are also listed on that playlist, which is the first page of the module, or you can find it on the home page. And it tells you everything that they need to do for the week. Thursdays, of course, or Wednesdays, I'm sorry, are the days that we don't have Zoom class. So they always need to come here to find out what their independent work is. And then we meet Thursday and Friday. A lot of times when we're doing large group activities like the slides that we're doing this week, it'll have to be turned in on Friday during class or after class, whenever they finish it. In the module, if they are turning in an assignment, so for example, this treble clef slide submission, they're going to click on that, and the pink button that says submit assignment. Now they're going to come down here and they're going to choose a file. Now you can choose a file upload. If it's in their Google Drive and they click Google Drive, it's not available while I'm doing this template, but they can make it so that Canvas can access their Google Drive, and then their most recent files will be right there, and all they have to do is click on that. But this is where they will choose their file and then submit their assignment. If it's a picture or a video, it would just be a choose file from their device. And then of course, if it's a Google folder file, then they would go to Google Drive. Once they've done that, they would click submit and it will be done. Now, this particular assignment has a slide direction, and it shows them what they need to do. So this is a musictheory.net quiz, and they click the link there to take the assignment, and then the slides show them exactly what I'm looking for. So they have to have at least 50 right and 85% accuracy. So they might have 50 out of 60, and that would be 85% or more accuracy, but they have to have at least 50 correct. And then in order to submit the assignment, after they've finished it, on the right-hand corner, you see that there's the 3 dots and show progress report. And then it brings up this report where they put their name in. And then they will screenshot this from their iPad, this particular page. Now, they click right here and they'll add the file by taking the photo or video. Why so much importance on assignments being turned into Canvas? When students email me assignments, they're not housed anywhere. I have to find a place to put them. Where in Canvas, they're already kept in Canvas. And I have 180 students, and most of our teachers here at school have obviously large numbers of students and lots of assignments. When an assignment is turned in Canvas, students can show that it's turned in, and teachers can access it a whole lot easier than trying to dig through emails to find missing work. It's just beneficial on both sides, but it makes it so that when a student can say, look, I turned it in on my end, then a teacher knows that they need to look a little bit harder on theirs. So one of the most common problems that students have, and I'm going to go over here to Chrome for this one. You see how the graphics have not loaded, but is when you go into modules, and it'll probably work right now just because I'm trying to do this as a demo. Let me go down here to student view. But video's showing. So when we're in our module and we want to watch a video, so here's the video. Perfect, it didn't show up. So the video did not show. What I'm going to do is click over here, and I'm going to go to YouTube. Now you're going to notice that it's logging me in. It picked up my rapid identity and it logged me in. On the right hand side, you see my picture right here. Now, if a student's not logged in, it'll say sign in. And until you're signed in, these videos won't show up. Now I'm signed in, I'm going to click refresh and the video is going to show. That is like the most important thing about videos in Canvas. And that's a safety feature with the school. It allows them to keep YouTube safe and monitor what's happening. So the last thing that I want to show you how to do really quickly is in your Google Drive. In order to create a folder, you click this plus button. You notice I'm in files. Make sure you're in files. A lot of students like to come over here to workspaces and create folders, but we need to create folders in files. And you can create the folder, a new folder, or any other type of document that you need to create by clicking, and I'm just going to name it new folder sample. And I tell my kids, if it's something I can't spell, that they know that they're going to need a lot, either to put a number in front of it or an exclamation point, because those will go to the top of their folders. And then we're going to create it. Now, I obviously use numbers a lot, so it's put it right here. And I'm going to take the 3 dots and I'm going to change the color on this folder. I'm going to make it pink so that I can see it right away when I open my Google Drive. That way I know where all of my folder or my assignments for that particular class are. And every student should do this for each of their classes. All right, I think that is, actually, you know what, while we're here, let me show you a couple things on your iPad. This is MOSUL Manager. We call it MOSUL. This is the house of all the apps that are available to students on their iPads and devices. Apple IDs are currently not usable for students. So when they open this, they will get to a screen that's called self-service. Their screen looks just a little bit different than mine until you get to this point. This is self-service. This is where you get all of your apps from. Now, it is very beneficial to you to update MOSUL if something's not working right. Sometimes there's a update that's gone through to an app and then it just hasn't been pushed to your device because of the management system. And that's particularly true if, let's say, you need Chrome to work and it's not working right. You can click the reinstall update button and it will install any updates for Chrome that may have been pushed out to your device. The other thing that you need to know how to access is your settings. Click this cog wheel. If you go here and you click General Software Updates, it should tell you that your iPad's automatically updated. It updates when the battery is over 50%, I believe. It needs to be plugged in, so it should update at night. Sometimes the student forgets to plug it in and the updates don't go through. And unfortunately, the iPad updates directly affect things like Zoom. Speaking of Zoom, the last thing I will show you on here is with the Zoom app. Students should be accessing Zoom through the app. Their codes are in Canvas. If you saw in my class on the dashboard, I apologize. Let's see if it'll do it without me. Try not to have to log back in. Here we go. On the students' homepage, you'll see the class Zoom link. That's where students will access Zoom each day. And you notice this time the graphics didn't load, and that's probably because my NC Rapid Identity, my NC Ed Cloud as we call it, is not current because I closed out of everything. But they access Zoom here, and they should make sure that they're logged in. Their picture should be in this top right-hand corner. Now, students can change their picture and their name by going to settings right here. They should always log into Zoom with their school email and password. If they don't, then they're not considered authenticated. And if they're not authenticated, then sometimes they can't get into Zoom. So they would click here, and that's where you can change your password, your profile picture, and your display name. Display name has to be first and last name. So that is just something that might be helpful for your students as they're navigating. If there's any tech questions that you specifically have about band or about a device or an app, please make sure that you reach out and let us know so that we can answer those questions for you. Have a great afternoon.